Show Us Your Glory was written in late 2019. I was at my mother and father's and I just had the guitar on my lap, and we were talking about my daily devotional, and in my daily devotional I just said to my mum, I want to see God's glory fall, I want to see revival. And Mum and Dad have been going to a prayer meeting week in, week out, to a small valleys church, and where they pray for revival every Thursday night. And Mum was saying that, you know, we need to get on our knees if we're to see revival. We need to get on our knees and cry out to Him. And that's very much where the song was born. And I had a little phrase that came into my head, you know, we're on our knees crying out to you, show us your glory. And that was sort of the origins of the song. The song was due to be recorded at the end of March 2020. But due to the coronavirus crisis deepening, none of the band could make it to the studio for our first session where we were going to record the drums. But I just felt a weight that I had to record and release this song now. So I persevered with the booking. I went to meet my producer Gary White, who is gifted at string arrangements, and we spent 11 hours rearranging the song and recording a different version of it that we could release straight away. And we actually finished, on the day that we finished it, we finished an hour before the Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced lockdown in the UK. So it was very timely. Once I'd recorded Show Us Your Glory, I then had the problem of how do I get it out there? My sub-publishers weren't in the office. I couldn't create the artwork overnight and give it to an artist just like that to create. And it was all up in the air, and I had to think outside the box like so many other people during the lockdown. And I thought, well, lots of people are at home. I want to share the song with them. So I put a shout out on social media to see who would be interested in just filming themselves singing along to the song, really. I was inundated with the responses and had lots and lots of video editing to do and learn on the fly. And people seem to have a lot of fun making it.
See, there's a link there. What?
Nothing is higher.
Glorify your Son. Let your will be done. Let your glory fall you. I just messed up.
The song has been shared all around the world just by the small group of people who helped to make the video. And I've been told that it's been played and sung in Finland, Ivory Coast, South Africa, Crete and Greece and beyond. I want as many people as possible to share the song, because it's a prayer that people can say no matter who they are and no matter whether they have faith or they don't have faith. It's very much a prayer and a song that people can join in with as we try and turn back to God. Hi, I'm delighted to announce that Thank You Jesus has been nominated for the June UK Christian Chart. You can play your part in helping to get the song's profile raised and out to as many people as possible by helping to vote for it. It's on list number 1 on the UK Step Forward Christian Chart website. Details coming up shortly, but thank you so much for your support and for your help. This is a song that talks about the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I want as many people as possible to hear it, to hear that message, and hopefully it will help to play some small part in people coming to know Jesus Christ. Thank you so much once again, and please vote. Here are the details. Good evening, and welcome to Social Distancing Live with me, Rob Westall. We've got a special guest on tonight, Neely, all the way from Nashville in Tennessee in the United States. So quite exciting. Our first ever American guest here on Social Distancing Live. Hope you're all well. And as you just saw in that video there, you can vote for Thank You Jesus. It's been shortlisted for the UK Christian chart, which is a great honour. And the message of the song is all about the cross. It's all about the gospel. So I really would appreciate your votes to try and get it in that top 20, to give the song more coverage and to get it out to as many people as possible and to spread that message as well. And shortly before that, you might have seen that Show Us Your Glory is out on all digital streaming platform sites tomorrow. So iTunes, Spotify, Google Music, Amazon, etc. It's out tomorrow, and you can get that as well. You can also get it from my website, www.robwestallmusic.com/merch, and you can download that straight away now. You can get an MP3 of that for £1. But if you're a Spotify user, I've popped in the comments section the pre-save link, so you don't have to wait until it's out tomorrow. You can pre-save it tonight using that link, and you can even get a little sneak preview of the cover, which was designed by Lolita Gill, of course, who's been on the program twice here on Social Distancing Live, our very good friend Lolita Gill as well. So there you go. That's all the news. That's all the ramble out of the way. I just want to say a quick hello to a few people. So hello to Janice Jones, mother-in-law. How are you doing? Hope you're well. And she says that she's voted. So thank you, Janice, there. And Anne Phillips looking in for blessings. Hi, Anne. Hope you're very, very well indeed. You're very welcome indeed. And I'm sure if you stay tuned, you will be blessed by what the music and the stories that we've got to bring to you tonight. Denise Jones says, so beautiful. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. God bless you for that. Hi, Tabula. She says, hi to Rob and Anna. Of course, my wife Anna will be on the comments section at some point. We've just been putting the kids to bed and it took longer than anticipated. Obviously, the heat and the late nights, etc. have taken their toll. And hello to Gavin from the Rhondda. Hi, Gavin. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Sarah Hilton, hope you're feeling better. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for tuning in again. I hope you're feeling better at all. Name number one on Twitter says, do you take song requests? Yes, we do. If you post a song request, we won't be able to get it to you tonight, but I can make sure I can get it to you for another show. It has to be a song, one of my own songs, or one of my guest songs, obviously because of licensing rules and regulations, etc. And hi to John Chadwick, hope you're well. Hi to Rachel Denny, hi, hope you're well indeed. And thanks to Gavin, he's voted as well. So without further ado, it's time to go stateside on Social Distancing Live and say a big hello in Nashville to Jeremy and Casey Neely. How are you doing? Good. And please, guys, please say hello to them on here as well. And if you've got any questions as well, I can pop them in the comments and I'll put them to them. But it's really good to see you. And I can't believe that you're in the United States and the picture is crystal clear and the sound as well. It's incredible.
Amazing. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. And so you're based in Nashville. Can you tell us a little bit about where you live and your family and your setup and how lockdown's been for you so far?
Oh,
Oh, well,
that's a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot. I apologize.
So we're nestled. We are in Nashville. We actually have a Nashville, Tennessee address. Because Nashville is a massive city spread out, as a lot of cities are in the United States. And we live really close to Percy Priest Lake, so we've got a really nice area around here. And as far as our family goes, we have 4 beautiful daughters. And our oldest daughter is married. She stole our guitarist from us years ago. And they've given us 3 beautiful grandkids, which you'll probably hear them thumping around upstairs.
Well, we'll ditto with my 3 upstairs as well, to be honest with you. You could probably hear them, Mike.
That's just how it is.
It's
sometimes.
reality.
Marvelous. So Nashville obviously is like a massive hub for music, isn't it? I mean, it's such a phenomenal centre for music and quite famous for it as well. Christian music, secular music. Have you always been involved in music yourselves? How did the journey begin for both of you?
Oh, goodness. So I've had a dream, a God-given dream of playing music since I was 3 years old. And because of where I grew up in America, it was a very rural and a very impoverished area. I didn't have any opportunity to learn music. As a matter of fact, I didn't pick up my first guitar and learn even the notes on the treble clef until I was 21 years old. So I didn't start writing until after I was 21 years old. And then Casey and I, at that time, Casey and I were already married. And it wasn't even until 2001, we came into a relationship with Jesus in 2000. And it wasn't until 2001 that I even knew she could sing.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, we'd been married for 5 years, and I didn't even know my wife could sing. So it's just amazing how God moves.
Absolutely. And then obviously you started learning, and how did you become artists, Christian artists? I mean, that is, that's quite a fast track in a way.
Well, it's been a process, really.
It's been a long process.
It just started in 2001, basically, when we were leading worship at our church just every once in a while, or at another church every once in a while, or we do special music. And this was just what we did from 2001 until 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, at least one weekend a month we would go play somewhere. I mean, it was very kind of sporadic. We had different bands that would play with us at times. And then really 2010 is when we moved to Nashville and went full time. And just kind of 2.5 weeks after we moved here, we went out onto the road, like touring for the very first time with our 4 daughters. And that was an interesting experience.
Wow. Was it a big long tour? Was it stateside? Was it?
It was stateside, yeah. But it was, 2.5 months?
Yeah.
So we went from, pretty much I had a full-time day job to where I would work from 8 till 5, Monday through Friday. And then we uprooted the family, moved to Nashville, and then all of a sudden we're living in host families and hotel rooms for 2.5 months, not seeing our own bed. And that was a massive change for our family.
Sure. And how old were the children at that time? I mean, I've got 3 from 9, 7, and 2, so I can't imagine what it must be like.
Well, the girls were...
Allison was 14.
Allison was 13, 14. Aubrey was about 12.
Mm-hmm.
Emma would have been 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then Ella would have been about 4, almost 4.
Wow.
So we had 2 older and then 2 younger. So it was just an interesting time, because living out on the road, especially with kids, is not an easy task.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. If my wife's watching, she's probably having kittens right now. But don't worry, darling, we're not going on the road. Not yet. We can't. Anyway, we can't.
Right.
Marvelous. So, I mean, we've got some comments on. Just want to get those comments in. Just some people saying hello. And there you go. So Denise Jones says, "Hi, guys. Croesio," which Croesio is welcome in Welsh. Just for you to know.
Oh, cool.
There you go. Chris Holland says, "Hi, everyone." Beulah Cheeseman says, "Hi, Jeremy and Casey." My dad, Frank Westall, says hi. And Rachel Denny says hi. And she says, "I love Nashville." And Chris Lewis, hi, Chris from Ebervale. He's watching on YouTube. He says, "Amazing story." Chris, I've been in bands with Chris before, so he's probably thinking, "Hey, I can take me and the Niffers on the road." So that's probably an inspiration for him. But I want to get into the music as soon as we can, really, because and I wondered if we could start with a song called "Whisper," which features Lolita Gill, which many of our viewers will know Lolita, and of course she's featured on the "Thank You Jesus" video that people see most nights. So how did that relationship with Lolita begin, and how did the track begin, and what's the story behind the song?
Oh, well, so the story with Lolita started before we ever met her. We actually, because of our touring, we would come to, starting in 2015 was our first international tour, and it was to the UK. And we had met a lady in Bath. Her name is Sarah. And Sarah's friends thought she was crazy and our friends thought we were crazy, but we just met up in public in Bath because we met on social media, on Twitter, actually. And so we just met with her and her daughter, and we spent the day, we went out to eat someplace in Bath, and I think we went to the Roman bathhouse and did just fun
hung out.
public stuff, but then we became great friends through that. Well, then fast forward a couple of years, and Sarah messages me in June of 2018 and says, I have a dear friend that's a worship artist, and she's just released an album, and I wondered if you guys couldn't help one another. And that's when she introduced us to Lolita.
Incredible.
And we've just been great friends ever since.
Marvelous. And
yeah,
she's awesome, such an encourager, and I hope she may be tuning in later tonight, or she may even be on. If you're on, Lolita, say hello. But in terms of the song Whisper, then how did that come about? What's the background behind that song?
Well, so I had just spent some time in the evening. We were getting ready to go to bed, and I had just spent some time on social media going through, and I kept seeing all these different stories on Instagram talking about the universe, the universe is telling me, the universe is saying to me. And I was just like, like they're so close, yet so far away. And it was out of a grieved spirit that I was like, I don't hear the universe telling me anything, but I do hear through creation God's voice. And that's when all of a sudden I started singing, I hear you whisper when the wind blows. I feel your peace when the rain washes over me. Not the universe, but you. And then from there, it was just a process of writing. Came in chunks with different writers. And of course, because Lolita's become a good writing partner of mine, the first thing I did was created a voice memo and shot it off to her. And by the time I woke up, she had written the back half of the chorus.
Amazing. Well, let's have a listen to it now. This is Whisper by our special guest tonight on Social Distancing Live, Neely, featuring Lolita Gill.
Night falls on this broken heart of mine. I can't make it through another day. My God, will you hear me when I cry? One thing I know, I'm never alone.
When
I feel your peace when the rain washes over me. I breathe your life in. When the fire falls, I find my hope in you. Yeah, I hear you whisper when the wind blows. I feel your peace when the rain washes over me. I breathe your life in. When the fire falls, I find my hope in you. In your presence, I will worship you. I will worship you.
Marvellous. That was Whisper there by our special guest tonight, Neely, all the way from Nashville in Tennessee, joining us live on the show tonight, featuring Lolita Gill, of course, that song. And Jeremy, that song was written, as you said before, you had an idea, you pinged it across to Lolita, she finished off the second half of the chorus. Is that very much how you write these days? Have you always written like that, collaboratively?
Well, no, I haven't always written collaborative, and every once in a while, the Lord will just pour a song out, and it just comes, it flows. I'm sure you've had experiences like that.
Sure, yeah.
But most of the time, I really toil over songs because I figure if they're a blessing from the Lord, then I really want to make sure that they're right. And so while Lolita and I wrote the chorus together, I actually wrote the verses with a dear friend of ours in the Little Rock, Arkansas area, in one of our patrons' homes. We were staying with some of our patrons, and a friend came over, and really the verses paint a good picture of just the cycle of life, in that, the first verse is night falls on this broken heart of mine. And then my friend and I, we were trying to say, what's a way of saying like daybreak, but emotionally. And that's why I said joy breaks, like day breaks. So no matter how far you're going. So it's just, pinging ideas back and forth like that. But it wasn't complete yet. It still needed that middle 8 section. And so right in this very room near where we're sitting right here, my son-in-law sat down, and that's when we knocked out that middle 8 section. So it was over the period of months that it took us to write Whisper.
Wow.
And get a finished product.
And I must say, this is a Welsh phrase. It's a banging middle 8 as well. That's a good thing, by the way. I just want to dive into some of the comments, because I'm not alone there as well. So Tim Button, Ellie and Tim Button were on last night's show. Hi to you both. Love your song with Lolita Gill, he says. And Rachel Denny says Whisper is a great song, and featuring Lolita there. My Auntie Brenda is watching. Hi Auntie Brenda, hope you're well. There you go. Sarah Hilton, please, if you're a praying person watching tonight, please pray for Sarah. She's still a little bit under the weather and needs our prayer. God bless you, Sarah. She says, such precious lyrics, beautiful song, and people like to put emojis on the comments section. So she's got an okay emoji and a massive love heart and a little throbbing love heart as well for you as well. And Michael Rose, hi Michael, hope you're well, welcome, says absolutely brilliant. Rachel Denny then says, I'm actually singing along. And Beulah Cheeseman says, love this amazing song and vocals too. My father, dad, Frank, for people watching, says amen. Sarah Hilton says thank you. Janice Jones from Mother-in-Law says I'm singing along too! And then my mum, she's a bit of a fiend with the emojis. She says, "Hi, love this straight away." Clap emoji. We've got this thing on Social Distancing Live where it's that sort of flexing your guns kind of thing, but it actually means the right elbow of fellowship because we can't shake hands or high five, so you can do the elbow thing. So my mum's given you one of those and a thumbs up. There you go. And Denise says, "To hear your whisper, you are precious. I worship you." And Kathy Mallord, hi Kathy, welcome, says, "Hi, beautiful, love this." And Gavin Owen says, "Great gospel country vibes." So I'm not blowing smoke up your butt, but reading those comments out, I just like to encourage you, and everybody, no matter who they are, myself included, needs encouragement. So that's why I always make it a thing to honor the people who share music on this program. So that's why I'm doing that, just to explain. But thank you for that song, indeed. So that was Whisper. So guys, you can please check that out. Where can people get that, guys? Where can people find that song?
You can get it on any social or any digital distribution platform. So whether it be Spotify or Apple Music, iTunes, Google, Deezer, all of them. And the lyric video, obviously, that you played there is available on our YouTube channel.
Marvelous.
As well. Which so the linchpin for us on social media is Neely Music. So it's our surname, Neely, Neely, and then music. So if you want to find us, it's neelymusic.com, facebook.com/neelymusic, twitter.com/neelymusic, whatever.com/Neely
Music.
Music.
I can see what you did there. It's good branding. My wife Anna, if you could pop that in the comment section so people can get that tag as well if people didn't pick it up. So that's Neely Music, Neely, sorry, Neely Music, Neely Music. In terms of the music, we're going to listen to another song shortly, but we were talking off air about your testimony, Jeremy, and it's quite a powerful testimony, and I would like to get into that. Before I do, I'd just like to say, if you're watching this evening and you've got any questions for our special guests, Jeremy and Casey Neely from Neely Music, please ping them in the comments and we'll get them to them throughout the course of the program. Please say hello as well if you're tuning in, and say where you're watching from as well. It's always good to say hello and be social, because this is social distancing live, of course. So we're physically distant, but we don't have to be socially distant. Guys, Jeremy, you were telling me off air about your testimony and how, first of all, you came to faith, but also it wasn't all plain sailing from there.
No. So I was born and raised in a Christian home. As a matter of fact, the community that I was raised in had a lot of deep Christian roots. Everything that happened in our community happened through and around the church. And so I like to say that I was raised an inch from the truth and missed it. And I started into a lifestyle. By the time I went off to uni, I was a full-blown addict, and I struggled with substance abuse as well as alcohol for nearly 15 years of my life. So when Casey and I were married in 1996, I was still struggling with addictions, and then we brought some baggage. You know, when you're living a life of sin, there's a lot of things, relationships and stuff like that you just don't see any problem with, even though they're still devastating to you. And we brought all of that baggage into our marriage, and with my addictions on top of it, it was a train wreck. And then Jesus came into my life, our lives actually, in the summer of 2000. And I would like to tell you that we said the prayer and just poof, we had flowers behind our ears and we were skipping through green pastures, like the brilliant green pastures down in Devon and Cornwall. But that it just wasn't the reality. The reality is when you have so much emotional baggage and anger and hurt that you're carrying in life, and you're masking it with addictions and that physical chain that they bond you with, it took me years, even serving at first on worship teams and stuff like that. I was still struggling with substance abuse until probably it was around 2004 that I finally just said enough's enough, and I quit.
Wow. And you've got a song that you said fits in well with that experience, and it's called Falling Down. Is this song written out of that testimony?
It is. The way that I describe it, and I've actually written my story in book form, and the book is the same. It's called Falling Down, My Life Story is Seen Through the Eyes of the Prodigal Son. And so you can kind of see the parallel of being raised in this wonderful and amazing home and just saying, I can do this better. I don't need you. I'm gone. And then you just walk into incredible darkness. And then the redemption and the restoration of Jesus through that.
And we're going to listen to the song in a moment, but guys, what would you say to people who can sort of connect with what you just said in terms of perhaps they've become a Christian and it's not been easy and they've still had same sort of issues they had before, or if somebody is, like suffering some of the things you just described, what would your message be to them watching right now?
Several things come to mind. Number one is accountability. Accountability is so incredibly important. And with accountability comes, you have to get stuff out. You have to, even though it's hurtful and maybe even embarrassing, there's stuff that I've had to get out to my accountability partners and even confess to Casey that's just, it ensnares you for so long, but you know that to say it out loud, it's just ridiculous and it's almost embarrassing, but you have to go through that because darkness just can't survive in the light. And so I would just encourage you, either counseling or a recovery group, or you have to make those steps and you have to get that out. You have to get that darkness out, and you have to start letting the light of Jesus Christ in and heal those things.
And you need people to walk with you through that as well. Trying to do it alone is just going to be a recipe for disaster and failure, because we need other brothers and sisters to walk with us through that. So that would be my encouragement and suggestion, is just finding people to walk through that with you, and life in general. I mean, we need people.
Absolutely.
And just know that a lifetime of hurts, we live in a microwave popcorn society, whether it be here in America or even in the UK. And we expect fixes right away. You can't fix a lifetime of hurt. I mean, I've seen Jesus do it. Like, I've seen people transform like immediately overnight, but it's rare, and it all comes down to God's will. And there's growth and there's good things to come out of the pain and the battle of walking through it and growing through it.
Marvelous, thank you, and thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story and your insight there. And we're now going to delve even deeper into your vulnerability by listening to a song that you've written about it, which I know when you write songs, you're bare in your soul, aren't you? And guys, this is Falling Down by our special guest tonight, Neely.
I'm falling down. Don't know which way is up. I wallow in my sin as pride raises up. Can't keep me down from this pedestal I'm on. Walking my own way while still claiming God's. I can see you. I can see your beautiful face.
Wonderful. That was Falling Down by our very special guests on Social Distancing Live tonight, Neely. Incredible video, incredible song. Thank you guys for sharing. And obviously we were hearing before it about your testimony, Jeremy, and how that song was born out of that as well. Just want to grab in a few comments. So good evening to Sandy Oxlade there. Hi there. And Colleen Milton as well. John Chadwick says, great song. Great song, guys, and it is a great song indeed. I love the video. Just got to ask about the video. How did you? I'm just very curious. Regular viewers will know this. I love the art of the video, the music video. So, how do you do your music videos? How do you do that one? Was it your idea, or did you get videographers to come in and put their own stamp on it?
Well, it was actually a culmination of two different shoots. So I had a vision of the story that I wanted to tell, but the videographer that came in initially and shot the major storylines, he wasn't very good at the editing process. And then because I can be kind of critical and picky as any artist, he just kind of was like, well, here, I'm just going to mail you the hard drive and have fun with it.
Wow.
And so then we got our friend Marco Villalobos to come in and help us, and he shot the performance scenes with us, and then he and I went through all of the video, and we were like, okay, how can we resurrect this? And so we took my story and tried to show the redemption. That's why you see it go black and white and move backwards, kind of a reverse in a redemptive way. But yeah, so that one wasn't a pretty one. Like on the production side, that was kind of like we were like, oh, we might lose everything on this one.
Oh gosh. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, people see the finished version, they don't know what goes on behind the scenes on things. Right. But it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And just to bring in some of the comments, because obviously we're 30 seconds, I think, ahead of people seeing things. So Gavin Owen says, Gavin from the Rhonda says, loving this, proper meat and potatoes rock.
That's what I love.
We're starved of such things in the UK, I think. And then my mum goes, another powerful song. And she's got some emoji love there. My friend Chris Holland, he plays the drums as well. He says, very powerful song. And then he's got a bit of advice for me. Rob, do not cut holes in your jeans. I don't think I've got the knees for it. So there you go. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's an awesome song. And moving on to the next song that we're going to listen to in just a moment. So obviously Falling Down was based on your testimony you were telling us about. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable in bearing your soul on that. And Casey for letting him do that as well. But the next song is sort of like a follow-on, isn't it, from that?
Yes. So the next song is Peace Be Still. And it comes from, I can't, when you're in an interview, all of a sudden you forget every scriptural reference. Well, no, it's not from, well, that's Be Still and Know, but it's actually from Mark. It's from the book of Mark, where Jesus is out on the water and the disciples were like, oh, we're going to drown again, kind of thing. And he stands up and he's like, peace, be still. And the waves just calm and the storm rolls away. So actually, when I was in the process of writing this song, it was 2003, which tells you the age of some of our songs. And how long I marinate on them before they become something that I put out for the public. I was really just crashing. I was going into this spiral of depression, just all the consequences of my sin, of everything that we had brought into our marriage, and then as I was telling you earlier, the realization is you start to see that, wow, if I'm hurting this bad, well, I did these things to other young ladies, so their husbands are probably going through hell on earth, living in my shadow. And just the consequences of sin were just pouring down on me and overwhelming. And I was I was actually journaling, and I wasn't even thinking about writing a song. I was just like, Lord, the waves of life are just crashing over me, and I think I'm drowning, and I don't know if I can make it. And that's when he just spoke to me through that scripture and just said, peace, be still, know that I am God, and I can even calm these waves. We're not just talking waves like out on the sea. We're talking like waves of depression. I can handle those too. And so that's really how this song was birthed.
Well, let's have a listen to it now. This is Peace Be Still by tonight's special guest, Neely from Nashville in Tennessee. If you've got any questions for them, I've got Gavin has sent in a question. We'll get to that after this song. This is Peace Be Still by Neely. Peace Be Still. Sorry, I didn't think we were going to get back then, but Peace Be Still by tonight's special guest, Neely, all the way from Nashville in Tennessee in the United States of America. I have got that right. It is Nashville, Tennessee, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I just had one of those moments where I thought, oh gosh, did I get that completely wrong? Which would have been very embarrassing. But anyway, just to get on some of the comments there. So where are we? There we are. Rachel Denny says, I absolutely love Peace Be Still. That was the very first song I heard of yours and loved it. And she put some love art emojis on there. And Rachel goes on, I absolutely love Peace Be Still. That was the very first song I heard of yours when I found you on Twitter. Then I went to YouTube and this was the song I heard. Love it. Brilliant. So thanks, Rachel. And if you've got any comments and anything, any questions for Neely tonight, please send them in. Say where you're watching from as well. It'd be good to hear from you. Neil says, absolutely amazing every time I hear it. God works amazing through Jeremy and Casey. Truly blessed to have them in part of our lives here in South Africa. Wow. So welcome, Neil, from South Africa. I hope I've said your name right and correctly there. And Sarah Hilton says, another really powerful song, lyrics that speak truth. God bless you both and your family. Blessed to hear your music tonight. Thank you, Sarah, for those comments there. And guys, you sort of were talking earlier about touring with the children and things like that. And I just want to just quickly touch upon how lockdown has affected you guys, what it's like there, and how it's affected what you do as well.
Well, real quick, you had said that there was a question that Gavin had before we went to the song.
Yes, I did indeed. Yes, good call.
So,
it might be one you can answer, it might be not. But Gavin says,
quick though.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm going to answer your question really quick while you're looking up Gavin's question.
Yes, sure. I've got it here ready to go. So have you guys come across Drakeford, another great Christian duo based in Nashville? They tour the UK as well.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have, huh?
No.
There we are. I suppose Nashville's a big place, is it?
It is a big place.
And tons of musicians here.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
No worries. But before that, I asked basically, how lockdown had affected you, because you full time, aren't you, and everything else. And for myself, I went full time in the summer. I had loads of bookings just gone, and then started broadcasting for the last 10 weeks. So how has it been for you guys?
Honestly, because we spend so much time on the road, this has been an amazing time for us. We're so blessed to be able to be at home. It's restful, it's healing. Because, when you're on the road, a lot of times, because you're doing face-to-face ministry, and it's just, it's draining. It drains you spiritually, it drains you emotionally, it drains you physically. We were exhausted from 10 years of really just beating the road hard. And so this has been, to us, it's been an answer to prayer. It's been an amazing and beautiful time where we could just rest and heal as a family.
Sure. And aside from obviously the grim stuff of coronavirus and things like that, what's the situation like where you are? Is it quite bad? I mean, we're quite lucky here. We've not had many cases, and it's compared to the rest of the world. But what's the situation like where you live?
I mean, there's cases here in Nashville because it's a big city. It's a big metropolis,
yeah.
Because you got Nashville, and then you got all the suburbs that make it the big, like London.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it's been as bad as what they thought it was going to be.
Right.
Which
I mean, you're looking at less than 1% of people that contracted it. I mean, honestly, we got home from England in December 17th, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we brought it back from England.
Wow.
Is when we were sick for weeks, and we were telling everybody, we're like, just stay away from us. Like, we've never been sick like this before. And I remember like taking hot steaming showers, trying to break up the congestion. And I would try to take a deep breath, and I would just almost collapse in the shower from coughing fits and the fever. And so we almost think that we probably contracted it already.
Wow.
But
Well, one of our other guests, Di Woolridge, says he was in London about the same sort of time, December, and he felt that he had symptoms as well. So, yeah, wow, absolutely. Well, thank goodness you're okay. That's the main thing, at least. And yeah, guys, we've got Neely on, fantastic duo from Nashville, Tennessee, and very, very honoured to have them on the programme tonight. So if you've got any questions for them, please pop them in the comments and we'll get them to them indeed. So guys, we've got more music to play. What song would you like to choose for us next?
I'm trying to think of what songs that we have left to play. We've got
of course we've got God You Loved, which is your brand new single. And we've got Everything I Am as well, and Complete as well.
Okay. Well, let's talk about God You Loved, because it's really kind of going in that same vein of our testimony that we've already started on. When you hear the lyrics of this, you're going to hear, for instance, like, God you loved, so you forgave, you never held back anything. And that's why the title it sounds kind of weird, like God you loved. Well, doesn't God currently love?
Yeah.
Well, listen in context with the lyrics, and but just that whole revive my heart and my soul and just restore me, through your unfailing love and your grace. And so that's where this song comes from, because as a former addict, there, even now, we're talking like 16 years I've been clean. I still have regrets, and the enemy still likes to beat me up emotionally about those lost years, and the fallout for my wife and my kids, and all the stuff that they had to live through. So so this is an encouraging song that just hits to the heart of who God is and how much he loves us.
Great. Well, let's have a listen to it now, and I pray that it blesses you if you're listening this evening, and you need a touch from God, and you need to know that he loves you. This is called God You Loved by tonight's special guest, Neely.
Christ. refresh my soul. Into your hands I surrender all. Renew my life, Lord, I am yours, because of your unfailing love. Revive my heart, refresh my soul. Into your hands I surrender all. Renew my life, Lord, I am yours, because of your unfailing love. Your unfailing love.
Fantastic. That was God You Loved, the brand new single by tonight's special guests, Neely Music, and Jeremy and Casey from Neely Music join us now from Nashville in Tennessee. And wonderful, wonderful video, guys. Wonderful song. And just to pick up on some of the comments there. So Gavin from the Rhondda says, that's one epic lake in this video. So where was it shot? Was it that close to where you are?
Yeah.
It was literally like 3 minutes from our home.
Yeah, Percy Priest Lake is the name of the lake, and it's huge and it's absolutely beautiful.
Amazing, amazing. And you were telling me off air as well that you shot that on your phone, which is incredible.
Yeah, that was all shot with my iPhone.
Wow. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? And needs must in this current climate as well.
Right.
So just some other reaction to the song as well. So Beulah says, so beautiful. God's amazing love and grace goes beyond anything. We can sometimes write ourselves off for failings, yet God never gives up on us and will always restore us. Thank you, Beulah, for that. And there we are. So Gavin from the Rhondda says, loving the range of styles in the various songs from country, rock and ballads. What bands do you take inspiration from, Christian or just generally? Which bands do you take inspiration from?
Oh
goodness.
Wow. So a lot. A lot. So I grew up listening to everything from classic country here in the United States, like George Jones, George Strait, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, all of those famous country artists. But then actually the very first cassette tape that I was ever given by my uncle, and you'll love this, it was the Police, Synchronicity, a proper UK band. And so that was my first taste of rock music. And still to this day, like the melody, there's a little black spot on the sun today, hearing Sting sing that. I love it. I love it. And then you graduate into the 80s rock and bands like Def Leppard and Warrant and Motley Crue and Metallica was a big influence. Musically. Guns N' Roses. So you see, because a lot of my life even though I was in a Christian household, I didn't listen to Christian music. I actually bucked my parents on that quite a bit. So then you get into the late 90s, and then my first experiences in Christian music were stuff like Pillar and Third Day. Because again, you can hear in the music, I like guitar. I like that Ted Nugent, Slash type of guitar. And so Third Day was cool. Pillar was cool. But then, as we progressed into the 2000s, I really had a hard time listening to Christian music because it kind of watered out and it went into that. It was cool for a minute, but it was that edge, the edge sound, you know, and those kind of those octave riffs and stuff like that.
Did you ever come across a band called Delirious, a British band called Delirious, Christian band?
Yeah.
They had some meaty guitar in their songs, didn't they?
Yeah. Yes, they absolutely did. Yes. So, you know, those are some of my influences over the years, and probably what you hear in there. I will say that being an independent artist has been a blessing for me because I am an artist. I love all those different genres and styles, and I don't know that I could be pigeonholed into just one style. I think I would go nuts.
Yeah.
Absolute crazy. So yeah, thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's great. And thank you, Gavin, for the question as well. And Gavin's actually responded. He says, Def Leppard, one of my favourite bands. And he also knows Pillar as well. Pillar are great. The Fireproof album is quality, says Gavin there.
Yes.
So there you go. I think you've got a new fan there. So in terms of the next song we're going to listen to now, it's called Complete. And Casey, I gather you'd like to talk about this one.
Yeah, so this song, Jeremy actually wrote for my sister and her soon-to-be husband. My sister Kelly, she was 35 when her and Dave got married. And their story on how they met is truly amazing. Definitely a God thing. And I won't go into that, but Kelly was 35 and Dave was 31 when they got married. And they both remained sexually pure for one another. And they just trusted that what God had for them in their life and being faithful to wait was good for them. And they've been blessed because of that. But Kelly wanted us to sing at her wedding, and she wanted a couple songs. And she told us, if you guys could sing this one, and it was God Bless the Broken Road. But I'll leave the other one up to you. And Jerem said, yeah, we'll take care of it. No problem. And we never told her what we were going to sing. I think probably we told her that we were going to write a song or something like that. So he actually wrote this song for them. And we sang it for the very first time on their wedding day.
Wow.
That was back in August of 2009 when they got married. So
I mean, how did you keep it together singing at your sister's wedding? That must have been quite emotional.
It was one of those things for me. I could not look at people. Like, I could not look at my parents, my sister. No, like I had to focus on something completely different because I can really get emotional, and especially singing. I can't allow myself because I won't make it through a song if I do. So that was how I managed. I'm not sure about.
That's where, like, even as a worship leader, sometimes I still like to use music stands and stuff. So that way I have a scapegoat to focus on. That way I don't, because if I see somebody losing it, I'm done. Like I was like the movie Up, the Pixar movie Up.
Oh,
my
amazing.
Girls, because by the first 5 minutes, I was already sobbing like a big baby. I'm just a big softie.
Brilliant.
So
awesome.
I just focus on music.
We'll try and keep it together now, guys, when we play this song. So, guys, this is called Complete by Neely Music, our special guest here tonight on Social Distancing Live.
everything I hope for. It all comes down to this. Not an act of love that can tell you more than this. All that I have, all I am, saved it for you, only you. Before I knew there was the thought of you, spent all my days dreaming about you. A million miles just to see your face. I'm in this place, I'm complete. I'm complete. Always thought about tomorrow, always dreamed about your hand in mine, waiting for the day when it would be you and me. All that I have, all I am, saved it for you, only you. Before I knew there was the thought of you, spent all my days dreaming about you. A million miles just to see your face. I'm in this place, I'm complete. I'm complete. Before I knew there was the thought of you, a million miles just to see your face. I'm in this place, I'm complete. I'm complete. There was the thought of you, spent all my days dreaming about you, about you. Oh yeah.
Marvellous. That was complete by our special guest tonight, Neely. And fantastic song, fantastic video, guys. Thank you so, so much. And Casey, I just wanted to ask you, because I asked Jeremy, and it would be rude not to ask you as well. Who are your musical influences?
So mine would be some of what Jeremy's were, some of the old 80s bands, Warrant, Poison.
Wham.
I don't know about Wham. I had a little bit of Christian music growing up, just because I was also raised in a Christian home as well. Michael W. Smith, Sandy Patty, stuff like that. I've also really enjoyed country music throughout the 90s and some in the 2000s. Don't Daughtry is an artist that I've absolutely loved ever since he came out on the scene. I am also a huge Need to Breathe fan. I absolutely adore and love worship music, and that's from all different worship artists. I just love worship music in general. Someone that I'm really digging right now as far as Christian music goes is Zach Williams. So I've just got a lot of different influences. I also enjoy Justin Bieber. So, it's like I'm very random with the type of music that I like. But those are just to name a few that I might have on my iTunes list right now. So
Yeah, do you both find, because obviously you're quite eclectic musically, but in your taste that comes out of your songwriting as well, I suppose. So you can, I suppose I'm not as narrow-minded as I was when I was a angry young man and everything had to have a guitar in it. I can respect the songwriting in any song these days, and I must confess, one of my guilty pleasures is a bit of Bieber as well.
Yes. And his new album is absolutely wonderful.
Is it too late to say I'm sorry? Sorry, that's a terrible joke there. Terrible joke. I'll stick to the broadcasting. Awesome. I just want to dive into some of the comments, guys. Let's have a look at some of those. So John Chadwick says catchy song. Beulah Cheeseman says great song. And Neil Van Wyck, sorry Neil if I've pronounced your surname incorrectly and your name incorrectly, but thank you for tuning in from South Africa this evening. Neil says, Rob, my introductory to Jeremy and Casey was complete and everything I am. Wow. Yeah. I think he's read the script here. These two songs will always have a special place in my heart and soul. Truly powerful and amazing songs. Well, Neil, that is the song that we're going to end with later on this evening. And there we are. And Nathaniel Freeman says, love Need to Breathe. And my favourite new band. Have you heard of Need to Breathe? Have you heard of those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we are. So that's a recommendation from Nathaniel Freeman, or Nat from the Ronda, as he's called, one of the friends of the program here. So in terms of sort of, we've heard about your testimonies tonight, and thank you so much for sharing your heart and being vulnerable, because it's not easy. It's quite personal, some of the stuff you shared with us tonight, and I appreciate that. And you've been on a journey, and you're on fire for God, and you're serving Him through your music ministry. So in terms of the last song we're going to hear, Everything I Am, you were telling me off here that it sort of comes full circle, and it's a good one to end on tonight.
Yeah, because this song is my artistic retelling of the story of Mary and the Alabaster Jar. And so the way that I always tell the story, from my perspective as an artist, because, and this as well, you can share scripture with me, but as an artist, I'm filling in all the cracks and the blanks, and I'm painting the rest of the picture that Matthew or Mark or Luke or John is not telling us. And so I imagine that night, like, here's this lady that has come to the end of herself, and just like, she's come to this realization because she's seen this man, Jesus, walking around the Galilean countryside, claiming to be the Son of God, the great I am. And she's starting to believe it, because she's seen the blind man that she's walked by the gate her whole life, that's never seen her, can all of a sudden see her now. That paralytic over by the fountain that she's seen laying there for decades is now walking around. That guy that died, he's alive. And so she's like, this guy has to be God. And she's starting to realize through the teaching that she's hearing from him that her value is so much more than her station as a prostitute. And I can only imagine that how brave she was that evening when she mustered up all of her courage and she walked into that party where there was all these religious leaders and all these leaders in Jewish society and successful business people. And everybody gathered around Jesus, and let's be real, probably quite a few clientele. And she still walked into that room, and she did two very brave things that night. One is she gave everything emotionally and spiritually that she had. And she did that because she just hit her knees before Jesus, and with her tears in her hair, she did one of the most humbling acts that you could ever do in washing his feet. And so she laid everything emotionally at the feet of Jesus. And then she did the second incredible thing is she gave everything that she had physically in this life. We see the alabaster jar, and you've probably heard pastors teach about it, and they try to all outshine each other with their brilliance and how they know history better than the other one, and you take the denarii times the euro, square root of pi and this and that, and it comes to this much per year is what that alabaster, because scripture tells us it's worth 1 year's worth of wages. And so I'm here to tell you, as a former addict, I don't care what value you place on it monetarily. I know what it cost. If you get my drift, the unspeakable acts that she had to go through for a whole year of her life, what it cost her truly. And this was everything that she has in life physically, because I'm pretty sure that a prostitute probably didn't have a bank account in Jewish society. There was probably no retirement plans for prostitutes. This was it. And she took everything that she had physically in this realm, and she crumbled it, and she anointed Jesus's head. And that all came still at a cost, sacrificing everything. And she started to get hit from the disciples and religious leaders. And that's when Jesus picked up and said, step back. What she's done is beautiful. She's everything that I've ever desired anybody in the human race to be. And so that's really where this song came from. And you'll hear it in the song, but it's also what we would call our fish bait. And I really want to encourage you guys out there that are believers. Matthew 4:19, Jesus says, "Follow me and I'll make you fishers of men." Well, I'm a country boy from out in the sticks of Missouri, and I want to give you a little piece of country advice. You aren't fishing, or the way we would say it is, you ain't fishing if you ain't got bait. And church, I want to just encourage you out there right now. We have been fishing with a dry hook for far too long. And so when you see our YouTube channel and you see some of our music, you're going to see some hard-hitting music. You're going to see songs called, like, I've got a country song called Kiss My Grits. We've got a country song called Here With Me. And you're not really going to hear the name of Jesus in these songs, but it's bait. It's good music, and it's bait to capture people so they can come in and we can create a relationship with them, and we can love on them, and we can share our story and our hurts, and go to the cross together with them. And so I just want to use this moment and this song as an encouragement to be creative. Be creative. Now, not all of you are going to be songwriters or singers or worship leaders, but that cannot stop you from finding out what is your fish bait. Some of you, it might be you're going to be a spectacular mom, or you might be a spectacular teacher or an engineer or a plumber for the glory of God. And I just would encourage you to creatively use those passions and gifts to that end.
Thank you very much indeed, Jeremy. Thank you very much indeed. And this is Everything I Am by Neely.
Quietly I walk into the room, hoping for a chance to be with you. Everything deep
Everything I Am There by Neely, our special guest tonight here on Social Distancing Live. And we nearly got caught up there, Jeremy, didn't we? We were chopsing away off air in the background. But guys, thank you so much for coming on the programme tonight. And it's 4:00 in the afternoon where you are, I gather.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane, and I can't believe we're speaking to you, and you're in the States, and the picture quality is awesome, and you've been awesome. The quality of what you brought us is fantastic. Thank you so much. And guys, if you've been introduced to their music for the first time tonight, I know some of you are already fans, and you're on, and welcome to you. But if you've checking out these guys for the first time, please honour them by going and checking out their music and buying their music as well. Let's honour them as well, because as we were saying, we've lost all of our gigs and things like that, and it's our livelihood. Guys, how can people, just remind us how people can get hold of all your stuff?
Well, again, the linchpin is just Neely Music. So if you go to neelymusic.com, that's our website, and from there you should be able to link to almost anywhere on the web universe. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on YouTube, Apple iTunes, Google Play, whatever your choice is. I guarantee you we're probably out there.
Absolutely fantastic. And just to bring some comments in before we have to say goodbye. So Beulah Cheeseman says, let me just get that. I'm just dragging the comment so it's not on our faces. It says, you do have an amazing, powerful testimony, Jeremy, and God will use you and is using you to reach into others' lives that others of us can't reach. I'm always so encouraged and blessed to hear testimonies. Being so real and vulnerable makes your testimony even more precious. There we are, that's Beulah there. John Chadwick says, great guests this evening, and you have been awesome guests. Thank you very much indeed. Gav from the Rhondda says, great song, sort of firefight flyleaf vibes going on. I've no idea who those bands are, but you probably do. I don't know, but that's what Gav says. And Gav has got an amazing taste in music and quite an eclectic taste in music. And my dad says, Frank Westall says, God continue to greatly use you. Thank you. And guys, thank you so much, and it'd be great to get you back on if we're still broadcasting. And and we do have a music festival, an online music festival of sorts, on the 6th of June, which I'd love to speak to you about off air if I'm able to. It would be great to host you and have you on. And thank you so much. Just pray protection and blessing and provision over you and your beautiful family there in the States, and for more fantastic songs to come out of you, and for God to use you greatly. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And before we leave, if anybody's tuning in tonight and Jeremy and Casey's story is connected with any of you at all, please do not think it's chance. You've logged on here for a reason, and that reason is Jesus Christ is calling you, and he wants a relationship with you, and you can have that tonight. Please private message me. My virtual door is open, and if it's possible, and if Jeremy and Casey are up for it, I will obviously put you in touch with them as well if it's relevant as well, and appropriate to do so. But please do not delay. Please get in touch with me straight after this show. I'd love to tell you all about my faith. Bless you guys, and I was going to say safe journey home, but
we're here.
in the normal context, that would be appropriate, wouldn't it, in a TV studio? But yeah, guys, thank you for coming on. I'll speak to you off air shortly, and thank you so much for being our special guest tonight. God bless you both.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. There you go. That was Neely Music there from Nashville in Tennessee. Some fantastic songs, fantastic testimony. Please check them out. Neely Music, Neely Music. Those handles and hashtags across social media, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your music on digitally, you'll find them, and also their website as well. Please check them out and honour them. Go and check out more of their fantastic music. And I really love the video, and I really love the heart and the story, and knowing more detail about what's behind those songs. And as I said, if any of it's touched you tonight, please get in touch with me. It'll be my honour to speak with you. Before we go, I just want to remind you of a few things. So tomorrow evening we've got Show Us Your Glory is coming out, the single, on digital platforms, on iTunes, on Spotify, on etc., etc. Please also, if you could vote for Thank You Jesus on the UK Christian chart. The details are at the start of this program, so if you're watching this, you can just rewind to the start of the program. There's a little short video explaining how you can vote and how you can help me to get that song out to more people. The song talks, of course, of the cross of Jesus Christ, the gospel message, and I'd really appreciate your help to get it out to as many people as possible. There's no money in it or anything, but that's just my heart behind it, so I'd really appreciate that. And as for Show Us Your Glory, there's a link that I popped in at the start of the program, so it is out on Spotify tomorrow. However, I popped a link in the comments right at the start of the program with the pre-save link. So if you've got Spotify, I'm going to pop it in the link again now. You can basically get this straight away. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. This is the pre-save link. You get a sneak preview of the song and the sneak preview of the cover, which was designed by Lolita Gill. I've just popped that on the Facebook page now, and if Anna could pop that in as well, I can put it on the screen for you. But the link is in the comment section, so you can pre-save that song as well. I'd really appreciate that. And I'm not going to leave you with Show Us Your Glory straight away. I'm going to leave you with obviously the promo video right at the end of the program. But many of you might have seen the prayer for Wales that Sound of Wales, the collective group, has done, and they've done a video, and I played it last night, so if you missed it, here it is again. And this is from Sound of Wales. They're a collective of creatives and musicians, Christian musicians and Christian creatives across Wales, and we got together to do a UK blessing style video to one of the songs that was on the Sound of Wales album years ago, and it was a real honour to be part of that. The problem was, the day before that I was due to film the video, and I forgot about filming it, and then the deadline was the next day. I had my hair shaved for charity, so I'm looking rather bald on the video and rather ill at the same time, but they asked me to put some daffodils in the background for the green screen as well. But look, I just pray that this song blesses you and helps to leave you with a zip in your step tonight as we part ways. But please join me tomorrow, 8:30 tomorrow, same place, same time, for Social Distancing Live. And we're going for another week after this at least, and then beyond that we just don't know. So let's make the most of these times the way we can be socially social but distant online, live on Social Distancing Live. This is Sound of Wales and the prayer for Wales. Please enjoy it, and I pray that it blesses you loads.
This blessed vineyard
in the land of our fathers, the land of the lush green, the land of the poetry, the land of songs sung by male voice reaper harmony, the land of the collieries, the land of community, the land of a people ever changed by what happened at Calvary, where sin wages were settled by perfect love's poured out salary, the land of mass repentance with the posture of the bended knee, the land where pubs to pulpits to pits peaked with passion in their lungs and praise in their lips. In this land of our fathers, we stand with our forefathers from right across the ages. May a nation once again stand firm on Christ, the rock of ages. In the land of our fathers, the land of the collieries, the land of community. In the land filled with loneliness, may your church be community. Divide the division, I pray, Lord, for unity. May we speak revival